Good afternoon, everybody.
Kelly, can you hear us? You already have your hand raised. Can we help you before the meeting?
Testing, can you hear me? Sorry about that. The host would like you to you can press star. You are
Testing, this is Kelly.
I can hear you, Kelly. It's Nicole.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
So she must be the caller.
Bruce is right behind
Kelly, Chris.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, wow, was that a bad one? It's good morning somewhere. I don't know. Somewhere. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. This is the Wyandotte Creek Groundwater Sustainability Agency, our regular meeting of April 22nd, 2021. Please join me in a salute to the flag of our nation. Ready? Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please call the roll.
Commissioner Conley,
Here.
Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Byam,
Here.
Commissioner Daly,
Here.
Commissioner Riston, staff team, Commissioner Goslin.
I'm on the management committee.
Sorry about
Call
that.
him.
Management
Just the
committee.
board. Well, but I was going to let you roll with it. You know.
I was making sure they were all here.
You know, you can make me look bad at any time, so I'm never going to make you look bad. All right, so next up is approval of the minutes of the last meeting. Are there any changes by any board members on the meeting minutes? Is there any thing from the public about our minutes?
I have no public comment on the minutes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I second it. I'll move that we approve the minutes.
Okay, we can do it that way.
Oh, what? Sorry.
That's all good, man. We're rolling.
I got a little ahead of myself there. Mr. Conley?
Yeah, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, good. Regular business update on the groundwater sustainability plan for the Wyandotte Creek subbasin. Paul Goslin.
Thank you, Chair Conley and board members. I'm going to hopefully get my screen sharing up so I can give a short presentation. Jackie? So what I'd like to do is I'm going to need to have screen share turned on.
I see her clicking.
I believe it's available now.
It's available now. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So today I'm going to give a very similar presentation on the status of the groundwater sustainability plan and the schedule. Again, these are the chapters we've been working on. Administrative information is being worked on right now, largely by staff with input from the consultants. Basin settings in final draft preparation. And a lot of work's being done right now on sustainable management criteria and monitoring networks and project and management actions, and I'll cover that. So yes, the basin setting chapter is draft complete. Groundwater dependent ecosystems draft is being incorporated, that work. And then the sustainable management criteria, we're very close to having a draft that will go out for a 30-day comment period. It'll probably be probably not next week, so it's likely May for a 30-day comment period. And then we're going to have the Water Advisory Committee review that at their May and maybe into their June meeting, and the board will consider approving the final draft in June or July. And we do want to keep any of these chapters final draft until the plan is compiled and completed and the board approves it. But we are going sequentially on this. And I will be giving updates to the board on the drafts and the status of that at the next couple meetings. Project management actions, we're doing solicitation of projects, a lot of good involvement from partners, and we're going to review what's been submitted to the Water Advisory Committee and a status to the board in May. And then we're going to have a public workshop. I deeply, I lost something here. Hold on one second. My apologies. I don't know if, did I lose you all?
We can see you. We can see your.
Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, it says groundwater sustainability plan status schedule. It never flickered.
Okay, because my screen froze, sorry. Yeah, so,
you have an IT problem, not us. That's all.
What's that?
You have an IT problem, not us.
Yeah, it's all out in the Ethernet, so I don't know what's going on out there. Yeah, so project and management actions, this will be the means that we're going to take to achieve sustainability, our measurable objectives, but then also would include things such as filling data gaps as a project, or actions the agency may take that the board may decide that the agency needs to take certain actions. So it does cover a wide gambit that will be covered in the plan. Another side note is things that are submitted into groundwater sustainability plans become eligible, and they have to be approved by the board. They will be eligible for funding. Funding for under groundwater sustainability grants. So really taking a look at what gets into the plan and where they're at status-wise, they could be eligible for funding. So it's a lot of important steps. So partially we're taking a look, and stakeholder partners are taking a look too, of things that are in existing documents, such as general plans that may be in that are applicable, or urban water management plans or ag water management plans that may be applicable to projects and management actions. So yeah, by the end of the month, we're going to have at least the first grouping of projects and management actions that will be reviewed by the Water Advisory Committee. We'll discuss that in May, what lists we have, and then have a 30-day public comment period on that draft. In July, we'll review comments by the Water Advisory Committee. In July, August, consider approval of that final draft of projects and management actions. One chapter of the plan that we have not spoken about at great depth, and we're going to start to have discussions with the Water Advisory Committee also, is the implementation chapter. So one of the things that DWR is going to want to see is, with all the things that you have in your plan, how do you plan on carrying them out? And what's the steps? So there has to be some reality to the things that you put into the plan, and at least some mechanism that you've thought about on carrying it out. Now, obviously, over a 20-year implementation, things may change, circumstances may change, other funding approaches, and even some of the implementation steps will likely change. But initially, there has to be some thought about what your approach is. And this does get into some of the projects that may be funded either by third parties as sort of a support function, or they could be funded through some of the groundwater sustainability plan implementation grants, and that may be a fund source, but there may be also fees associated with carrying out some of the functions. And that might be functions to continue the agency moving forward, and some of the actions the board may deem that the agency needs to carry out. Because currently right now it's just in-kind staff support and nominal contributions from member agencies. So if there's other things the agency may decide to do, such as gathering more data, or an inventory of domestic wells, or some other regulatory approach that's beyond what current actions the member agencies do, there may be a need to assess a fee on the within the subbasin to carry that out. So that all of that does not need to be decided for the plan, and it may be listing some of these actions with identified or at least anticipated funding sources such as grants, or it may be that there may need to be a fee schedule developed. So I'll pause there for any questions, but we'll have more discussion on this topic as we start framing out the plan.
Well, but this is also very dependent on how healthy the basin is. If the basin is really healthy, we won't step out into talking about anything but grants, correct? We're not going to go after people and meter their wells and do all that. We're going to make sure that right in the public's face all the time is that if it's healthy and we can keep it there, we don't have to do any of these government things, things that government like to do, like tax you.
Right. Absolutely. So it's really up to the agency to decide how big they want to be, or if the basin is, in reasonable shape, and there are some water management things that could be taken on that could be funded by grants, and we're going to almost just carry this forward as just good project management for water projects. Then, yeah, the obligation of the agency to carry things out and assess fees, or like you say, metering or other things which get very costly, we don't need to do. So it is going to be incumbent upon us, and so I think we'll be looking to have the most efficient, cost-effective way to achieve our sustainability goals as we move forward.
Paul, this is Kyle Daly. So for the draft of this implementation chapter, do you need to have, say, a list of potential options? Is that all you really need right now? Or as far as like may assess fees, may meter wells, may XYZ? Or do we have to actually nail down a serious like fee structure like you were talking about in order to get this draft submitted to the state?
Some really good question. Something in between. So what the chapter is going to be built upon is what is drafted going into the project and management actions. So let's say in project and management actions, there may be a recharge project, or good example was reached with the Bucyrus Flood Control Agency and their project that may also have good benefits for groundwater recharge. We can account for that. It won't cost us because they're doing their own project. Or if there's some of the urban reduction conservation programs, those may not need to be funded. Or if there's other projects the agency takes on that will be eligible for grants, we would just reflect that. So if it comes down that the agency thinks that there may be a need for fees, it would highlight, let's say, for whatever reason, the agency decided, well, we need to do X, and to carry that out, it would take some work and some effort. All we would need to do is put the timeline in when we think we'd need to implement that action, and just generally reference, we would go through a fee schedule setting process at time X, and it may be 5-10 years out. So each one of those things, they don't need to be signed, sealed, and delivered at the time of the submission of the plan. It would kind of reflect when the grant is available, may dictate the schedule. Or some projects may not have a full feasibility study, and that will take some time. So I hope that answered your question.
Yep, thank you.
But we don't need everything finalized in this plan. It's really the aspiration of where the agency wants to go that's outlined, and how we plan on getting there. So with all those chapters, and it's really looking, June and July are going to be big decision point periods to at least get those chapters settled. And we will have discussions with the board on your desire. And Chair Conley made a good point about the perspective of how big a role the agency wants to play or needs to play. And we'll have that discussion so we get direction from the board on how to craft this. But once all the chapters are in final draft, including the basin setting chapter, they're going to be compiled together into the single plan. So there may need to be adjustments as we go through each one of the chapters, and the sustainability, the sustainable management criteria chapter may affect some adjustments to the basin setting chapter. So we'll take some time, August, to get this complete plan together and make sure it's all synced up, and bring that to the stakeholder the Water Advisory Committee. It will go for a 60-day public comment period, and that's particularly due to the statute that requires 60-day comments, and I believe a 90-day notice to the land use agencies. But we'll afford the public a full 60-day comment period. That will afford time for staff and the advisory committee to review comments, and then we'll get into December having board hearings and approval. Depending upon the scope and breadth of comments and the issues that are raised and board desires, we may need to schedule one or more hearings and adjustments, and even extend that into January, because we do have until January 31st to submit the groundwater sustainability plan. The last point I also listed down here was the groundwater sustainability plan implementation grant, which the Department of Water Resources has issued, and they're going to be coming out with guidance for the plans that are submitted in January 2022, like our plan. And what's available is grants for between $2 to $5 million per plan to take certain implementation actions. And what I'd like to do is, as we go through the projects and management actions that may include data gaps, it may include projects, let's say developing a recharge project or other things, to also have a discussion with the board on what your priorities are and what you would like to see us bring forward into this grant. And I'd like to hit the ground running once we get the plan submitted, which would make us eligible for this grant, to do that right after we get the groundwater sustainability plan submitted. So that would really, once the plan gets submitted, that's going to give us a good jump start on a 20-year journey to get the basin into sustainability. Hopefully we can do some things and get things going and get there sooner. But we do have 20 years. But that grant is out there, and it's kind of a real good opportunity for us to take advantage of. With that, I'll open it up to any questions.
I do not have any public comment or any hands raised in the queue.
Smart guy. Oh, sorry about that. Moving on. Kelly Peterson, about an application. Are you there, Kelly? There she is.
Can you hear me now?
You got a stream echo, so you have a speaker or something.
Chair Conley?
Kelly, it's just not going to work. Let's let Paul take it.
Yeah, I'm not as prepared or versed as Kelly, but we are pleased that we do have, for your consideration, a candidate for appointment to the Stakeholder Advisory Committee, Nicole Johansson. She submitted an application to join the WAC. So I probably want to open up if Nicole wants to say a few words. All her information and background information, business association is listed in the packet. Thank you. Nicole, you on?
Hi. Good afternoon, Bill and board. This is Nicole Johansson. And for those of you who don't know me, I've lived in Oroville since 2004. My husband is a farmer. His name's Jamie Johansson. Our farm is on Foothill Boulevard. Our house is up by Lakeside Market. And I am a marketing and communications professional. I spent 9 years working at Tri-Counties Bank as director of marketing and 6 years working at Enloe Medical Center as director of marketing. I'm currently working as a marketing consultant. One of my clients is the agricultural groundwater users of Butte County. Our business and our livelihood depends on agriculture, and I wanted to do my part in stepping up to be part of the water discussion in the county, and so I submitted the application. I hope I can bring value to your board.
Thank you. Any questions by anybody? I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, I move we approve the addition to the WAC of Nicole.
A second.
I'd like to say you put in a very impressive packet, Nicole. Thank you. So we'll just call a roll on this one. Please.
Chair Conley,
Aye.
Commissioner Byram,
Aye.
Commissioner Daly,
Aye.
Commissioner Riston.
All right.
Motion carries.
Welcome aboard, Nicole.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I did have one question. There were 2 seats. There was a business seat and an agricultural seat, and I believe I put in my application that I was happy to take either of those, whatever was open. I don't know if you guys made that decision, if I'm an ag representative or a business representative, but either way works for me.
Yes, in the recommendation, the management committee had put you forward as the ag well owner representative with a term ending on April 22nd, 2023.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. So we're going to move on to the reports and correspondence. Wyandotte Creek GSA Advisory Committee update. It was written.
Chair Conley?
It was written and in our packet. But
Chair Conley?
go ahead.
We have item 3, approval of a 2-year GSA financial audit. I don't know if Kelly's
Audits,
on.
we don't get along.
Back in action.
All right, so what's before us? I guess I can explain this one. What's before us? Do we want to go every year or do we want to go every other year on an audit? I would recommend we go every other year because not much has happened, and unless there's some reason to do it every year, we ought to do it that way. So the wishes of the board.
Is there a recommendation by staff as far as that goes? I see it there. Yeah.
Yeah, we recommend a 2-year audit. We were actually exploring, and there was some agencies that were formed in the code where they could go 5 years, but we're limited to having it at least every 2 years. And we have the budget we have is $15,000 with no employees, none of that. So it's really simple and it is costly to have an audit conducted. So we recommended the 2-year.
This is Director Riston. I think a 2-year audit is more than sufficient for the size of our organization.
And that's your motion?
And I make a motion that we go to a 2-year audit.
Perfect. Give me a second, somebody.
I'll second.
We had a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Man, there's something, I run all these meetings and I never skip a thing. I come to this one every month and I skip something. I swear to you, it's just like weird. Okay, number 4, Wyandotte Creek GSA Advisory Committee update. It was written and in our packet. Does anybody have any questions about that? Or do we want to hear, and we can't hear Kelly very good, so.
Can you hear me now by chance?
Yeah, we can. Do you want us
All right.
give a little verbal update?
Yeah, no, this item is, you're correct, it's just a written report, just giving you a quick update on that, the meetings of the Wyandotte Creek Advisory Committee, and they'll be meeting on May 6th, the next. So here to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Okay.
No.
You're up again then. It's the GSA Financial Report, which was also written. Anybody have any
Correct.
questions on that?
No, that looks good to me.
Good. You're up again. Monitoring well installation update. All right.
Here we go.
Good
Yeah,
news.
just real quickly on this one, the application was submitted to Environmental Health back on 14th, and the GSA has expended the funds to be able to pay for that. So that was right within the budget. We approved that a few months back to be able to pay for that from the Wyandotte Creek GSA budget. And the estimated start date is next Monday. So just moving forward, hoping that the approvals go through. I've been in direct contact with them. So it's kind of in their court at this point, but it'll be within the week, if not Monday. So things are moving forward and looking really good out there.
All good, everybody? Any questions?
Excellent.
I guess we're still looking for other locations, correct?
Correct. That's always an option. I think we want to get this one underway, and it's kind of a lengthy process. So we want to get this one behind us, and then also look at new areas for additional monitoring wells throughout the subbasin. Yes.
Thank you.
Kelly, this is Bruce Riston. I have a question. Is there a cap on monitoring wells? I mean, would there be something where we would say, if we have 500, is that enough? Or, I mean, is there somewhere where we say we have enough?
Well, that's a good question. And I would say that right now at the moment, we've got about 10. So what DWR proposes in terms of being able to be representative of an area is that you should at least have one well in about a 3-mile radius from that area. And so that well should be able to tell you, if you draw a circle around it, that these are basically representing the conditions around it. So that would be ideally, at least for groundwater levels, something that we would shoot for. And that's something that we're looking at right now in the Wyandotte Creek Advisory Committee and with the GSP. They're called representative monitoring sites. And so we're pulling that all together and looking at the coverages that we have and really just trying to get a good handle on that.
Okay, good, very good.
So I don't think we'll hit our cap anytime soon since we don't have too many of them, but it's good to get more online. Yes.
Right. Okay, very good.
Okay, number 7, Management Committee update. Kelly.
Sure. We don't really have any updates at this point. We're plugging along and moving forward, meeting with the advisory committee, and now that we've got 5 folks on there, it's really gonna get down into the details here. And so I'll just pass it over to anybody else on the management committee who might have something to add.
What a happy bunch. That's a good thing. Okay, so in every meeting we have to allow the public to speak on something that's not agendized. If there's anyone has public comment, we'll take it now, although we can't act on it.
I don't have any written communications, and it doesn't look like there's any hand raised from the public.
All right, beautiful. Okay, the meeting will be adjourned. Our next regular meeting will be May 27th, 2021. Thank you. Welcome aboard, Nicole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, clerk. Good job to everyone.